This petrol is not between Gambia and Senegal. This petrol is inside Gambian territorial waters. Only Sangamar coming for Sangamar. How many years iba advertise la mama sola fentije? Okay. So among Taranton in Senegal time, I've been told inside Gambian territorial waters. They cannot claim that. So no matter whatever fault you make, you cannot lose your petrol. It's not possible. It's not possible. How can you lose your petroleum in your own country because there was a breach in the contract? No way. No. No, it's not possible. Yes. You cannot lose a country, you lose your oil because the government messed up. No, you cannot do that. They cannot do that. I dealt with petroleum lawyers. What can they confront it? It's not possible. Banco Lafango, you lose it to another country or to a foreign company. No way. It has never happened in the history of the world. Yeah. Do you know how many times we went to court because of this oil? The Canadian lawyer told that we cannot win. You come and I guide you. Mamura is my witness. Go. 3 times he went to Sambala court. International. Malong for Fengonying. I forgot the name of the company. Well, not a GPMB song. So-called privatization. Guy coming for the most profitable companies. African oil force can privatize. We Africans being stupid. We just went into globalization and privatization. And even Nigeria had one of the best airlines in Africa. Nigeria Airways was a household name in Africa. Nigeria's fishing shipping, cargo vessels, Jamale Soto, even Ghana, another private, privatized. Probably or better because they know that it's lucrative business. If you have a cargo vessel, you will always have money. Inata is very privatized. The company is called Alimenta. Ole GPMB son. And the only payment that we saw was $400,000. 400,000. So the rest of the payment, digital. We could have taken Jaura to court for that. But what did we do? We seized the GPMB. Now let them go and deal with Jaura who sold it to them. They can't all threaten, no, they will, the Europeans will back then go Altasi. You are talking about law. I know the law. Even the late farmer Jata, we cannot win this law because that is what the lawyer said, international lawyer said, we cannot win this case. Ngo itole into Sambako. Abe koilat. Yes. So I made it very clear. Let them tell them that after losing the court, they will lose the case, and now we will take them to court. And there was another American that was helping us. But Atafangwa is an international lawyer. For us to win this case, it's not possible because Okay, the case is in Europe. I think it was in Geneva. World Bank called, no, you have to give it back to these people, otherwise we cannot win the case. I told them to go to hell. I sent soldiers to take over the place. But Gambia, no. My brother is very sad. It's very sad. Antoine Gay. I think it was Antoine Gay. And that was another case. Gambia no nothing allow I escape. Iborta. We have already taken over, so that's not a. And you send soldiers to invade the place. Even that is another case. I don't think you know whom you're dealing with. Alain told Marcoy na evidence JAMMEH soto. They took one of they told me that was one of the best law firms in Europe. Lalif and Lalif. I will never forget that name. So the lawyer, the Canadian lawyer, the Canadian lawyers, I'm like, evidence there from each sitting twice if adjourn. No, you cannot adjourn it. No, you cannot force it because they took you to court. You didn't take them to court. I told them, but then at the end of the day, they will pay us the cost of coming every time. So the lawyer, okay, definitely, there is nothing we can do about it because they took you to court. So I insisted that no, it's not fair. They took us to court and then keep adjourning, and we have to go there. It's not going to happen. So the Canadian law said, go and tell the court that we are an African country. And we cannot have the luxury of going to Geneva all the time. Okay? They either continue the court or we will also take them to court. But we want them to finish the court. They are proceeding because they're going to lose the case. And then now we will take them to court. My brother, Kabirin nata evidence do bondi non wrong. Iko ya adjourn indefinitely. It's not going to happen because then it will be at cost to us. We have to retain the lawyer, the retainer. It's cost to us. The lawyer konye and then where did you study law? Which university? The University High School of the Gambia. I didn't study law. Well, what we did was a short course. About what? 2 months. But that was in the Gambia depot. But then at that time, thank you. Malam Farid, if you will remember 81 coup. There was a prosecutor called J.K. Dako. He was known in the Gambia. Now I'm more prosecute. Prayer would be difficult. iko kabirin fenke Rawlings ya accused ati for ala first fengo coup plot wal nata fail ya muta so fenke jeke dako wala ya prosecute and some others. So I think Frankenying, yeah, convicted and they sentenced him to death. Jerry Rawlings. So Kabiri ya samba fengoto, prisinoto, death row. The soldiers started because he was in the I think in the military prison. So soldiers make a guard. You can suffer all over if you kill this man. If you kill this man, we will burn you alive. So when I get the soldiers, yeah, prison that they, yeah, Jerry Rawlings body, I could attack. But jeke dako, ala sole, akanata adunta, anamela bota adunta togola. Then another funtina gabi. So nyiko jeke da ko fan kabira abentol tala class akonya you be a very good lawyer. Ngago law is common sense. I don't need to go to university. Malo adolon de barelwa. They know me. Fafa banyo be intelon. Iko nintenga law study no. Itola to fa mota moila. So muneta natake nyini alonko ite fenko ite case win no. And then we were even bringing more evidence against them, money laundering, based on facts. Hey, my brother, then they go hard, so we should pay them, I don't know what, for them for us to settle out of court. We are not settling out of court. You losing the case, and we're going to take you to court. Because we have evidence that is damaging to you. When I'm ready with you, I've not said your company will not exist, but not in Africa. And what can alimenta fa mobuka moisan Africa jang no. You know when the European Union decided to negotiate, I told her it's not going to happen. So I call her Nini Franco memfenge in a claim of $80 million. God tell us how this $80 million came about. Because what we have is a payment of $400,000. So if you had paid 80 million, and the cost of the GPMB was $80 million, then that is what you have to pay us. So we're going to sue you for that. So that have EU that have Farmer Jada, the late Farmer Jada. It was my finance minister. And Dole Fankana, ambassador near letter present, they were appealing to me to let it go. So I'm going from okay. The European co Ibajola. Why no, you shouldn't pay. You shouldn't pay to Alimenta, pay to us. So yeah, double wala for case na tato. Because I need to be GPMB wafila. I'm going to wafila kotoke. This privatization is meant to destroy African industries. You know. So, but then, mañana, they'll have access. I made it very clear. If they want to die, let them come and have access to the plan. They are not the owners. I've kicked them out. World Bank, they are going to take care. I'm going to take care. Because we had all the evidence against them. So look, nitata any sitting na nga bomb kilim jolong. I started dropping the small bombs. This Canadian lawyer, and they don't respect. And they don't respect. Gago, if I were not a head of state, I will go and defend the Gambia. And these people would have no legs to stand on. If I can, na minister nyene kan tenga ngalo karam mintoret. Yes. Anyway. Okay, Nico, hi, Gambela oil. When I go, I'm not the government that signed this. They are going to take our oil, whether they like it or not. They know that. Okay? Case yebel on going to find a window. Can you find a pin down there? Lata kasoro. Kabirin told what I want another negotiation. Okay, okay. Yeah, Gambia government Samba court. And that make is a criminal act. It's a violation of the license. You know? Tony Blair, that wicked soul. Alamusoleke, he was an advisor to Barrow, whatever. You are alcoholic. Alamusole case on behalf of the Gambia. I don't know whether they paid her £4 million. Can you believe? Case Yebelonka Bantal. They were appealing to us. Case Bantal. You know? New Kabinete Bodajago, they capitalized to take this full stock court in a case that has already finished. But the problem also was the fact that I don't want to lose my cool. People like Mamburenja, but allow it. Yeah, there was also this Fafasanya. Fafasanya. He knows everything about Gambia Petroleum. But I can't call it. Anyway, it's a long story. My audio is very long, 18 minutes. I'm sorry. So, I can tell you stories of high-profile cases against the Gambia. But they stop, you're going to take them to court too. Because we have damaging evidence. So, we will lose the oil. Ata sotola. Ata kela. Kabirin told the Australian company, Kabirin told a problem or sort of. That was what the Canadians were telling me. When we kicked them out. And we didn't kick them out at the time, their Fenco. Their license was operational. The license ended. Iko nyanta renewal ngaka tekala. So they were telling cock and bull stories. What they are talking about is that they will not own the well, but they will go to a court to file an injunction, okay, to make sure that You cannot also drain the oil. That's an injunction. But nobody can do that anymore. Nobody can ever do that. Not with me anyway. That is what they told us when we had a problem. You got the final injunction. That is what the Canadians told me. And even the princes, that is what they told me. No, it's not going to happen. We're going to win this case. So they were telling me, no, just renew it and go, no, Atekela. I refused. I made it very clear. They took us to court 3 days. I think three court sessions.